Democrats are losing their minds over a hilarious meme that President Trump posted on Truth Social. So he created this AI post inspired by Top Gun in response to the No Kings March yesterday, where President Trump is a fighter pilot and he drops mud on protesters like Harry Sisson. So the real version actually has the song Danger Zone playing in the background, so a very clear nod to Top Gun, but I've muted the sound just due to copyright, and here is the mud falling. There's soy boy Harry Sisson just getting covered, and mud and excrement being dropped all over the No Kings protesters in New York City. Like I said, the left is losing their mind over this. Harry Sisson and his followers are just all up in arms, like, why would the President of the United States dare call him out? Maybe because, Harry, you've now made your living, you've made it your entire personality to be a commentator, to be part of the public eye and conversation. It's no different than when Barack Obama was president and he called out people and got into arguments with Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin, Sean Hannity. It's because those people are also in the public eye and they, put out their opinions, their commentary. They were trying to shape and influence public opinion. Well, Harry, you're doing the exact same thing, so don't be surprised if you get called out by the person you're trying to goad, by the person you're trying to intimidate. Now, the left can cry all they want. This isn't a mean tweet. Some people are already claiming, oh, it's inappropriate and unbecoming and disrespectful for the office of the presidency. But as we all know, comedy and humor can actually diffuse tense situations. And despite the fact that the No Kings protest was a lot smaller than many people had anticipated, sure, they drew large crowds here and there, but this definitely isn't the energy of the Women's March or of BLM or the Tea Party protests. Like what we saw yesterday was pretty muted. But even though it was smaller than Democrats had hoped for, it was still, supported by violent undertones. And you could tell this based on the fact that they decided to turn it into a costume party. So in case you missed it, they all went out in all these crazy costumes, and they're it's almost like they're preparing for Halloween a few weeks in advance. But their logic here was, oh, we won't let the media spin us. We won't let the media paint us as violent extremists. So everyone show up in your costumes and inflatable outfits, right? That was a strategy. Now, why would you have to do that if there's nothing to hide here? Why would you have to even create that image in the first place? Well, it is because of the extremists, and it's because of the extreme policies that are now mainstream in the Democrat Party. These aren't just random one-off fringe people. This is actually coming from their leadership. So take a look at this photo. This is from Connecticut State Senator Saad Anwar. Cholesterol, do your job. Clearly, he's hoping for President Trump's death right there. There is no other way to interpret that sign. He's hoping for a heart attack. He's hoping for a stroke, a blood clot. Who knows specifically what he's hoping for? But he definitely wants Trump to be incapacitated or even worse because of his health. It wasn't just him. Take a look at this. If you look closely at the guitar, this is Lindsay Heffler Scott. She is the chairwoman of Crawford County in Pennsylvania, the Democrat Party there. It says 8647. So sure, neither of those may say kill Trump or Trump die now or like anything explicit, but the messaging is there if you know to look for it. Again, these aren't just random extremists in the Democrat Party. This is literal Democrat Party leadership. It gets even worse. Take a look at this footage coming from Chicago where a woman was mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Hey! You ever heard of Ozempic, you fat ass?
So obviously really disgusting there. And like I said, people can complain and cry all they want about President Trump's tweet and his meme and his response to all of this. Like I said, I think humor and comedy is a great way to diffuse a tense situation, and that's how he's responding to this. He's not responding with fire. He's not responding with anger or persecution. He didn't arrest anyone, despite the fact that they're calling him a king and an authoritarian. No, they were allowed to protest. They were allowed to exercise their First Amendment rights. And guess what? So is he. And he responded using humor. And they are just losing their minds over it. Well, in North Carolina, someone was wearing a For Charlie shirt. And the extremists there just lost their minds over it.
With a shirt that says For Charlie.
Because I advocate for free speech. And I
Okay, do you
absolutely love
free speech? Wear a shirt that says free speech. Wear a shirt that says promote free debate.
Free press.
Well, You get triggered because it has Charlie on there, right?
Because he was a racist, because he was a misogynist, and that means that you are too, because you support him. Get out! Get out of here!
He hated people. Yeah, just
He hated
calm it
anyone
down.
that wasn't white, that wasn't male, that wasn't straight.
That's funny. They're telling him to calm it down when it's the other lady who lost her mind and started screaming. And of course, you know, they're saying, oh, why don't you wear a free speech shirt? And then he is exercising his free speech and they're telling him to leave. So it's absolutely hypocritical and ridiculous there. And the most embarrassing part for a lot of these Democrats and for a lot of these protesters is they have no idea why they're even out there. You can look interview after interview after interview, whether it's with on the street reporters or with mainstream media or local news. They're being asked the most simple questions. You would think you would know exactly why you're there. One of the participants said that he votes for Democrats no matter what, yet he can't name his own mayor. He can't name his own council representative. This is an absolute embarrassment.
Did you guys vote in local elections too?
Oh yeah.
Your city council, who's your top rep on city council?
Whatever the D says, I vote for.
Okay, so you don't really look at anything else other than the D next to
Careless.
it. Okay, gotcha.
The Republican Party has become just such a disaster, just a lying. It's just disgusting.
Do you think that's the entire party, or do you think that there's some Republicans
I
on
think
that are
there's
decent?
some Republicans that are decent, but most of them.
Who would you say is decent?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really know who the decent ones, because they're quiet. They're not saying.
What do you think of the Dallas mayor?
I don't really have.
Do you know his name?
No.
How do you not know your own mayor's name? Talk about embarrassing. Like, he's out there. I guarantee you that this guy believes he's highly intelligent. He's highly informed. You know, he's doing his civic duty by protesting. And yet he can't even tell you the most basic things about local politics, the actual thing that impacts his life the most. I think most of us are impacted more directly by our local politics than we are by federal ones. I mean, of course, there are exceptions when it comes to Social Security and Medicare, but your local politics are just as important when you think about, you know, local infrastructure or school zoning, or just so many things. So for him to be out there protesting President Trump and not know the most basic thing, I think is really embarrassing for him. Now, it wasn't just him. There was actually another woman, and she was asked by someone, why are you here? And as he kept asking her to give specifics, you know, don't just give me the talking points, tell me specifically, why are you here? Why are you protesting? She realized she was caught. She realized she had no answers, and she wanted to cut the interview short, despite the fact that it had already been going on for a few minutes.
No King's Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No King's Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Okay, so I would start with, well, I don't even think it's appropriate for me to have this interview.
So what brings you out today?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to have this interview. Tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking about. That right there was an obvious total deflect, because she had no answers. She's just out because it's a fad, or because she's emotionally manipulated by the mainstream media or by social media algorithms. And, you know, look, I think most of us, and if you're watching this video, you'd probably be on the same page. If we, like, in 2012, I did go to a Tea Party protest, and I guarantee, even if I was caught off guard and someone came up to me, hey, why are you protesting? I could easily go down the list and talk about all the different reasons why I'm out protesting, why I'm out, you know, trying to advocate for my own beliefs. That's what you're doing at the end of the day. Like, how can you not articulate what your goal is, the message you're trying to send? That is the whole reason why you're going out there. And so I think it just shows the lack of intellectual curiosity and the lack of intellectual backing behind this entire protest. It really was just an opportunity for people to throw a temper tantrum. I think similar to high school reunions, it was a reunion for the 60s hippies. And on top of that, of course, there have been allegations that maybe some of this was astroturfed, maybe some people were being paid to go out there. And so that leads into the next clip, because there were these protesters saying, oh, we need to eat the rich. And someone challenged them, well, does that mean we should eat George Soros? I wonder if they even know who George Soros is. But before we get to that, I would like to acknowledge the members of today's Governor's Club. They are IC Happiness, Beehive, August Child, Jeremy 2001 Happy, and Wood Dragon Guy. These are people who give tips and super things to the channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your support, and I'm so thankful that you and so many others enjoy the videos. By the way, I've been seeing so many comments saying congratulations on crossing 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate that. It is so exciting, and I'm glad that you guys have been here along the ride, and many people along the way have been saying, oh, I've been subscribed since 80,000, or I've been subscribed since 10,000, and so it's super cool to see some of the OGers in the comments, some of you, whose names I haven't seen in a while, and you're like, hey, Daniel, I'm still here, so thank you for all of that. Well, like I said, they were asked about George Soros, and I think their apparent confusion, says it all.
I got to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, what's up?
We're in Naperville, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you guys are saying eat the rich in Naperville. That means you got to eat like half of these people.
That's honestly fine.
There's a difference between billions of dollars versus millions of dollars.
As a human being, you physically cannot comprehend the concept of a billion, and if you can't concept a number, then you shouldn't have that much money.
So
Billionaires can spend $1 million a year.
So should we eat George Soros's big ass? I mean, right? It's like the riches of the rich. It's just kind of like
eat the rich. I don't know, man. It's just eat the rich.
It just eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
So I think his point is that we want to be intelligent about the way that we protest because we want people to listen and we want people to understand.
Well, they're not going to listen either way.
So that right there was their mother basically trying to translate for him, and it just went on, and they eventually went away. What's funny about all of this too is I guarantee you that those same people are probably complaining about ICE officers wearing masks, yet as you can see they were all wearing masks, and based on their face coverings, I really don't think they were costumes to look nice and so that the media wouldn't spin them as violent extremists. I think it really was to hide and cover up their identity. Well, on NBC, a local NBC affiliate, they actually interviewed two guys in frog costumes, asking them, hey, why are you dressed up? Why do you think it's important to, wear such a silly costume at a, what you would think would be a serious political protest?
And people who are violent, and it really helps to match the absurdity of those statements when we show up and show support in silly inflatable animal costumes.
Absolutely. What does it mean for you to be here today, representing, what you're standing for?
There's so many things, mostly like freedom of speech, of like being able to gather and tell everybody like why we don't like about this administration, and pretty much that being that's a right. Like we are the youth worry we're going to lose, and we're here to prove like we don't want to lose that right.
Absolutely. Now I spoke to someone else earlier who was also dressed up and kind of was wearing their message. I think that's a great way to kind of get your point across without actually speaking. So what is the importance of like you mentioned wearing the message that you're trying to send, and what is that message?
It's really just to show that we are together, united, and we are nonviolent, and we want to stand up for all communities in this country.
So very lastly, what do you hope that people take away from today's protest?
Just when you hear things in the news about people being violent, you need to really take a look at what is really happening.
I don't know about you, but to me that was just the most vague, non-specific, just, throw me random statements that sort of sound good but don't really mean anything and have no practical, specific, tangible policy implications. Like, what is your suggestion? What exactly are you upset about? What do you want the Trump administration to do differently? What do you think about the government shutdown? What do you think about what's happening in the Middle East or about taxes? But no, it's just, whenever you see the media calling us violent, you need to think for yourself. I think people are thinking for themselves. Last but not least, I want to show this clip of Kathy Griffin out in Malibu, California. First of all, Kathy, again, speaking of violence, she, of course, held up the severed head, fake head, of course, of President Trump. And then on top of that, Malibu, California, you would think would be packed with Democrats. It should have been easy to get a very large crowd there, but even there, it was a sparse turnout.
Looks like. This is what democracy 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 looks like. This is what democracy.
Speaking of eat the rich, does it include them? I, for some reason, doubt it. Now, as always, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So that meme, the AI meme that President Trump posted on Truth Social, what do you think about it? Do you think it's hilarious? Do you think it's inappropriate or unbecoming? Do you not mind it, but don't have strong opinions or feelings one way or another? Just let me know your review of that meme, your thoughts on it down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.